First of all, France is a very lonely country. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. Are you trying to fast to death? Like they just kiss everywhere. How much do you spend in a week? Do you cook Nigerian meal? So yeah, welcome to Paris. Hi guys, if you're seeing me for the first time, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, you are the realest. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting me thus far. I got some amazing questions from you guys and I would be answering those questions in this video. This person says, please can you give a rough estimate of how much I will need for my proof of funds to study in France? Okay, as at last year when I did mine, it was 615 euros times 12. Whatever that amount is what you need for your proof of funds, and a little extra if you've paid your school fees. Also add it to your application. Add like a receipt, an acknowledgement of payment from your school. Okay, that's if you've not paid like the full school fees. If you've paid the full school fees, also put a receipt of the payment of the full school fees, okay, so that you know that you're really there for business. Okay, next one says, I will be in France this September and I would like to be your friend so we can hang out and maybe travel to some countries together. Don't know if you're interested. This is very interesting. If you're the person, send me a DM. Maybe we could be friends. Okay, if you happen to be in France, we can connect, we can grab a drink sometime. I do not mind, so just send me a DM. Okay. This says, I want your braided wig. Okay guys, interesting stuff. So that question says, do you cook Nigerian meal? Yes, I do. 98.9% of the time I make Nigerian food. I cook some French foods, like for example, I'm learning to eat baked potatoes now because French people eat a lot of potatoes, right? So I'm incorporating that into my meal and it's pretty healthy, so I like it. If you haven't checked out my video on the African market in Paris, you should check that out. Okay, you can get almost anything African in that market. Okay, so if you're in Paris, you might want to visit that. Next question says, how much do you spend in a week or a month, and kindly do a vlog of the administrative things you did in your first week or month in France? Okay, there are two questions here. It's how much do I spend in a week? Maybe like 30 euros, 20 to 30 euros per week, but I don't spend more than 150 to 100 euros per month. That's minus like your monthly payment for transportation and all that, but for feeding and for other like miscellaneous and all that, maybe like 100 to 150 every month. Then my rent is about, it used to be 700, so it's about 800 now, so that's almost 8,000 euros every month. So yeah, welcome to Paris. Okay, next says, kindly do a vlog of administrative things you did in your first week, okay, a month in France. So when you get to France, the first things that you do is validate your visa. If you're on a long stay visa, you need to validate your visa within 3 months of coming into France. So you have to do that. In fact, I would advise that you do it immediately because that 3 months is a long time and it gives so much room for you to forget what you're supposed to do. So it is better that immediately you come into France, if you've gotten your accommodation sorted out and maybe you have a little time before school starts, just get that done. I paid, you have to pay like stamp duty fee or something. That was about 50 euros. So you have to pay 50 euros for stamp duty. Immediately you go to the site and you just do what things you need to do. You can pay straight away and you get your validation document straight away. Make sure you get your transportation card. That's very important. If you are below 26 as a student, you can get your in the Imagine R card. It's a card that is discounted for people that are less than 26. That was the card I got when I came here because I was less than 26 when I came here. I was 25 when I got here, so But now I'm no longer entitled to that card, so I'm paying more than I used to pay when I came in. If you're less than 26, you want to take advantage of that. It's just a bonus point, but being less than 26, you can also get to movie tickets for as low as €8. But before you're 26, there's so many benefits things that you can benefit from. You might want to check that out. What else do you need to do? Get your accommodation sorted out. So now let's move to the next question. Okay, no question, I just love your content. Thank you so much for loving my content. And if you're still watching this and you love my content too, do you know what you do next? You subscribe. Okay, subscribe, you like, you comment, you share, all that wonderful stuff, all that good stuff. Okay, this question says, what did you bring or pack from Nigeria? I did a video of things that I packed and things that I realized that I needed after I came here, so you might want to check that out. But basically, food stuff, your documents, your clothes, if it's winter, your winter jacket. This one says, what is life after school like? Well, life after school has been, I don't know, it's been a roller coaster of emotions. It was very interesting to drop my pen and be like, finally that phase is over. But after that, there's so much more that comes after. You're trying to settle, you're trying to see if you could breathe a life here. You're trying to fully integrate into the culture if you're going to breathe a life here. You're far away from home, which means it gets lonely sometimes. It would be somehow for me to just use one word to describe it because it's been a lot. It's been a lot, but it's been good. It's been more peaceful. I felt more at peace with myself than I was when I was in school, because I'm this kind of person that when I'm focused on one thing, I'm only focused on one thing. It's very difficult for me to multitask or put in my energy into other things. So school really drained me. Like a 1 year master's, it's crazy. And people do 2 years. Most French students do 2 years masters. I don't know how they are coping. If you're one of those French students, comment down below and tell me how you're doing it or how you did it, because 4-5 months into my 1 year masters, I was already exhausted. So yeah, to answer your question, life after school is very much sweeter for me than life in school, because now I can go out without my conscience judging me. Now I can sleep without my conscience judging me. Before I finished school, I got a job, so it was really cool, So far so good. Someone asked me, how are you coping with loneliness abroad? First of all, France is a very lonely country for English speakers. I'm just gonna put it out there. There are just so many people. It's so diverse. It's very difficult to find your own people. But how am I coping with loneliness, Sha? I call my parents quite often. They call me very often also. Almost every day we talk on the phone. I try to keep up with my friends. We do video calls here and there. And I've made new friends. So we hang out once in a while. I think that's pretty much how I'm coping with loneliness here. It gets really lonely, and I'm kind of a lonely person, if that makes any sense. Like I like being on my own a lot, so loneliness is not so much of a big deal for me, as much as maybe people that like to go out a lot and see the world. For me, it's just like there are very few times where I'm like, oh my god, I'm so bored. But see, I'm not a home girl. Like I'm not the typical child that left home and always wanted to go home. Nah. The moment I left home, I've never been the kind of person that always wants to be at home or something. Like travel home or be with my parents. Nah, I like being on my own a lot. So to me, it's just quite normal. How's getting a job in Paris for you? It was pretty smooth. I got a job like a week or two after I finished my exams. It wasn't really that tedious. But what I realized is that it's good that you learn the language, because you can get a very good opportunity faster. when you learn the language. So this one says, would you advise anyone to settle down in Paris? If you're coming to France, Paris is good for you when it comes to jobs. There are more opportunities here than you get anywhere else in France. But it's an expensive place, so you have to weigh your options. But would I advise anybody to come to Paris? Kind of. Kind of. My experience cannot be your experience, so who knows. But I think I would advise you to come to Paris if you want to build a life here, and if you're willing to learn the language. It's a really nice place to raise your kids. Africans talk about how it's difficult to raise your kids abroad. I don't think it relates to France that much. It does, but I think I like their culture here. They have like a respect culture here, which is very key for me coming from an African background. So I don't mind raising my kids here. I don't mind living here. I don't know. France is really cool. It just depends on what your priorities are and what you're willing to sacrifice. If you're willing to learn a new language, I think France is cool. Yeah. This one says, what would you advise incoming persons? You know what? I'll just give a general advice. Anybody come to France, the first thing you should know is that if you can learn French for coming to France, the best thing you can ever do for yourself. Like, you integrate into the culture faster than an English speaker. So if you are if you're coming to France, if you think France is your dream country, the first thing you should do is learn French. What else would I advise? Make friends. Don't restrict yourself to, oh, I'm Nigerian, I must only make Nigerian friends. Don't do that. Make friends as much as possible. Be nice to people, make friends, because those friends are the people that are going to make your staying here fun. Be open-minded. Very important. If you're coming to a place like France, please be very open-minded, because the culture here is so much different from if you're coming from places like Africa, Nigeria. The things they be doing here are just a lot. That leads me to my next question. Culture shocks in France. The first thing is the amount of PDA that they do in this country it's incredible. It is very incredible. Like, they just kiss everywhere. You just see people that are not even up to 18. They're just in corners kissing each other, touching people, touching themselves and all these things. Can't happen in my country. In my country where you come from, there must be one auntie somewhere that will go and tell your father or your mother. So that thing really shocked me. I kind of expected the PDA, but I didn't know it was like, when you what you've never experienced, you've never experienced that. I was expecting it, but the way I saw it here, it's everywhere. Look like this everywhere. Like, it's just like a normal thing. So that's something that shocked me. And the fact that anybody just greets you, like, it's not like in Nigeria where I say, I'm a senior, she should greet me because I'm senior to her. Here, everybody greets everybody. Bonjour, madame. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Bonjour, monsieur. Whatever. People just greet, and that's very respectful, I think. And something else is the way they open doors for you. The way people just open doors for you, like, is normal thing. I don't know, like, someone just sees you coming behind them and just open the door for you. Leave the door open for you. Just hold the door for you, especially the men. They see you, a woman coming into a building, to open the door for you. I don't know that it's a French culture or it's just a human thing, but that's something that I also noticed. Then the kiss on your cheek thing. Oh my gosh, it was so awkward for me when I first came here, but now I'm so used to it and I really like it. That makes me cheesy, so be it, but I really like the kissing culture. The kiss on the cheek thing is so cute and so sweet. Like, I don't know, it's so cute. I like it. How is work life in Paris? Work life for me has been really interesting. What can I say? Most of my colleagues are French, so they speak a lot of French. and I don't speak so much French. So that was my struggle initially. So it took me a long time to bond with them and all that, but I think I like it. You know, it makes me learn some French words faster than I usually would. And I like the fact that they remind me to take my lunch because I have a very crazy work ethic where I don't eat till I've done everything that I need to do. My colleagues always remind me, like, it's lunchtime, are you not having lunch? One of my colleagues, he made a joke. He said, are you trying to fast to death? Because he noticed that I haven't eaten, and he was like, are you trying to fast to death or something? Because I don't understand, why have you not eaten? I like the fact that they take their breaks very seriously. And yeah, so it's been interesting. How are you settling? I kind of feel like I've answered this question, but anyways, well, the thing that's stressing me about France is the bureaucracy. Like, I'm literally trying to get my residence permit and it's taking forever and it's restricting the things that I can do in this country, and it's so exhausting. And my mantra these days has just been, anything I can't control, I do not bother about it. Like, it's not my fault that they haven't given me my residence permit. So, and there's nothing I can do about it other than pray and hope that one day I'll pop up in their head and they remember to send me my residence permit. But other than that, there's nothing I can do about it. And yeah, so I'm settling down good. I'm settling down okay. I think I'm just loving this whole living in France thing more and more. Also because I have a church that I attend to, that my story in France cannot be complete without that church. I love the people of that church. I love the church on its own because that's the only place that I get to really meet a lot of Nigerians, and just having that sense of community at least once a week has kept me sane, and he has also made me closer to God, which is very, very important in my life. So yeah, I'm settling good, I'm settling nice. And yeah, those are all the questions that we have for today. I really loved answering these questions. I look forward to these questions every year. And if there are questions that I didn't answer for some reasons, because I changed my phone and I realized that some of the questions that were in my old phone somehow didn't transfer to my next phone. So if I omitted your questions, I'm so sorry. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching my video. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all that wonderful stuff. And I wish you Merry Christmas in advance. I pray that before the end of the year, all your plans for 2023 would come to completion and perfection in the name of Jesus. I'll see you in the next video. See you. Bye.